with skyrocketing budgets going out the wazoo in Hollywood. James Cameron has something to say about it, although I don't think he's the one that should be calling the kettle black. Now, he is saying that blockbuster movies can only survive if we cut the cost in half. He's exploring how AI can help without laying off the staff. And he has also talked about AI in the past with differing viewpoints. And now everyone, when we all know from Grok and all kinds of other stuff, everyone's kind of opening up to AI. There was the satanic panic of it from the very get go, but people are kind of just like loosening their gibbers about it. James Cameron appeared on the Boss to the Future podcast and said the future of blockbuster filmmaking hinges on being able to cut the cost of VFX in half. Maybe you should hire just good people and give them a finished script like Denis Villeneuve does. He does, what did he say? The reason why he could shoot grandiose films on such a smaller budget and it still look absolutely amazing is because they do previs. It's just that simple. Anyway, this Oscar winner is trying to figure out how AI might help bring costs down without replacing crew members. It's not about replacing crew members, in my opinion. Now, he will go more into this, but like just in my opinion right now, it's not necessarily about replacing crew members, but like you need to weed out the dead weight of your staff. You always should in any venture that you're on. If they're not doing anything, if they're only there to serve as DEI prospects, guess what? They're making your movie look like the Marvels. Now, a little bit in the fall last year, Cameron announced that he was joining the board of directors for Stability AI, the company behind the text to image model Stable Diffusion. I don't pretend to know what that is, but he got in behind an AI company that was specifically for VFX. In the old days, I would have founded a company to figure it out. Yes, in the old days, he would have. But now he is in his old days and he didn't know much about it, so he kind of wanted to learn while still having a stake in whatever profits that it comes on. I'll join the board of a good competitive company that's got a good track record. So yeah, he just wants to attach himself to it, and there's nothing wrong with that. Learn as you go. Start from the bottom, then you get to the place where you're at the bottom of the Marianas Trench, where you're making these multi-billion dollar screensavers that people keep going to the theaters to see, once every 10 years or probably 11, 12, 13. We're actually getting, what is it, Story of Fire and Ash? We're actually going to get that way quicker from Avatar 2 than we did between the uh, the fucking gap, the gap between Avatar 1 and then The Way of Water. But the goal was to integrate it all into a VFX workflow and to throw it and create a new model that does a multi-purpose thing. Basically, what he's trying to say, and basically what they're trying to do, is instead of the VFX artist actually doing every frame by frame, pixel by pixel, all right, we can give them, which is kind of, if you actually think about it, this is what they already do. It will just speed up the process where they put little motions and like the vectors and everything like that. And don't trust me, I'm not going to get too technical because I only have a certain amount of knowledge before it all completely cuts off. And I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about at this point. But basically, what they're trying to do is streamline that where you can use AI as a thing. It's like, okay, you have these programs set in. This is what we want to do. We will show the motion to you. And then you can take the images, the pixels, and the colors and all kinds of stuff. And then just, yeah, you go and take care of that while I will work on the finer details. And it's not just hypothetical. If you want to continue to see the kinds of movies that I've always loved and I like to make, and then I will go to see Dune Part 2, Denis Villeneuve, why does his name keep showing up? Or one of my films are Big Effects So Heavy. Which is funny to me because obviously he sees himself as upper class and like I would say holier than thou, but I might say holier than thou. One of my films are big, heavy effects, heavy CG, heavy films. We've got to figure out how to cut the cost in half. Well, Denis Villeneuve doesn't actually spend that much on his films for what you get on the cinema screen in front of your eyes. It looks actually more expensive than what it actually costs. Now, a lot of these don't nowadays. And the fact that James Cameron is saying this is kind of funny to me because all of his Avatar films are upwards of 200 million production costs. And has nothing to do with marketing and some Now, there's an article that talks about, and people have been talking about this for a little bit of time. There is an article that says, the new Avatar costs upwards of $1 billion to make. I don't think that's true. I think what he's talking about is all of the filming they've done for the 5 films, because they've already started filming. I think a lot of them are actually done filming. It's just the post production thing. So it was $1 billion spent into the 5 films, which, whenever it comes down to about 230, $220 million per movie, at least on production costs, that seems about right. And James Cameron is actually good with the technical stuff. So I think that was a article that was blown out of proportion and people didn't have the full context for it. Oh my gosh, we're talking about context before it again. But Cameron has long expressed out when it comes to AI taking over Hollywood jobs. Yeah, I don't think it's going to take over Hollywood jobs, not true Hollywood jobs, because now people can spot the difference between shitty writers and shitty AI. They are not one and the same. The shitty AI is still better than the shitty writers. And this also comes from the social war, or the social culture war, shall we say, where you're hiring people who are unfit for the job. There are so many talented people out there. If you just get them back for the job that they actually want to do, and leave them unfettered, untethered, let them express their creativity in the ways that they want to express it, you will see Hollywood come back with the fervor and vigor that it always should have used to have and should have had in the first place. James Cameron could be one of these guys because he actually does make great films. He's made some of the greatest films of all time. If you let this guy at least have a say so, I know he had a say so in Terminator Dark Fate. Don't hold that against him. Everyone fucks up every once in a while, but if you let him at least have a say so in the way that things are going on, it's like, oh yeah, we're trying to streamline things. And sometimes streamlining means firing. Whether we want to keep you or not, sometimes, let's just be honest, you ain't pulling your weight. And that's all we're going to say about this one right now. This is Multi from Mouth of Multi. Why is it so dadgum hot in here? I am sweating like a grease pig. Y'all have a great day. We will see you later. Bye.